So this is the trigger warning. If you're like not into clumsy, gruesome mistakes.
Okay.
So if you're not into that, skip to like 1 minute.
Right.
So last night, I'm in the bathroom and it's right before bed. I've got all my stuff ready for today. You know, the usual prep and everything else like that. So I have like a little basket. I've got my skincare carousel. And then I have like a little basket beside my skincare carousel that has like odd bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs.
And I was looking for one of my cotton makeup pad things. Mm-hmm. But I have like reusable ones because I'm an eco girl.
You're sustainable.
Very sustainable. And I'm like trying to dig down the end and I keep coming against this resistance. So I'm like moving against this resistance. Find the cotton pad, whip it out, load of blood. The resistance was a razor.
Oh my God!
I was sawing my finger against a razor.
Where did it, what? I'll leave a plaster on it. Fuck for that.
No, I wouldn't make you go through that.
Multiple
sawing. Like a wicka DJ.
Oh,
like Marty Guilfoyle on it. You know?
Doing a mashup between a razor and me finger. I don't know what's worse. I thought we're recording today, it's Saturday, 1st of April. You were going to play a prank on me.
No, that's real life. I have to blaster.
So I don't know what's worse, whether it's the true story or a prank. I think that's the worst, what actually happened. This is based on a true story.
This is based on a true story.
What the fuck?
This is heartbreaking.
That's disgusting. Sorry.
Isn't it? That's why I was like, trigger warning.
Yeah. Not great.
Yeah.
Jesus. Hello, and you're very welcome along to the Unpopular Opinion podcast. My name is Jen.
I'm Carla.
Well, let's dive right in, shall we?
Happy April Fools.
Happy April Fools. It was so early this year. People like
it's very early, but it's always April 1st.
No. What I mean is, so yesterday I saw two that were like trying to get it. I don't know because they were businesses. I don't know whether the PR person fucked up on the scheduling, or they were like they won't expect it because it's not the 1st of April kind of thing.
But then
or
it's
they
not
just,
a fill. It's just a bad joke.
Or it was that they were like, it's Saturday tomorrow, I'm not coming into work to post that, I'll just post it now. I don't know what it was. So Penny's put up that they were adding a fruit and veg section. Did you see that?
No.
It literally in the, the section where they have like their shower loofahs.
I wouldn't shock me at this point.
Absolutely not. But I'm just like, is the ambience okay for fruit and veg and Pennies? Like what the, you know what I mean? I feel like
all mauled with lipstick on them.
That's what I mean. Like you're definitely going to get somebody testing a perfume on an orange. Do you know, like, or
it's going to be
foundation.
It's going to be, the foundation test, does it go into the pores?
Does it go into the pores? Does it sink into the pores?
What's his setting powder like?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody definitely would have drawn a face on an orange. So I was like, first of all, it catches me every fucking year.
Every year.
I always forget that it's what day it is. So even like when I was leaving work yesterday, I was like, don't fall for any April Fools. They'll be doing it. And they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or don't fall for any jokes. I said, and they were like, what the fuck? I was like, it's April 1st tomorrow. Do not fucking forget. Because I always forget and I always fall for it. And like some of them just have me fuming. So Bear by Vogue put up that there was a self-tanner going out for kids. So it was like,
good for her, because I can only imagine.
Oh my god,
onslaught of abuse.
Bad enough as it is for her. Like her that I was in the middle of commenting on fucking Facebook. What I need to just to rip the band-aid off and get the fuck off Facebook.
Me too.
I've too many photos on there that I'm just like, oh, don't lose it. But it's she put it up, so like her.ie always extract something out of our podcast and then make it a headline as if Vogue personally rang them for an exclusive.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they get the comments every time.
Yeah.
So they know that's going to happen, but they still post them like that.
Well, that's on purpose. Engagement is engagement.
Fine. They do it for Molly May as well. And I was literally, in me comment, I was like, Your demographic is women. So why? Do you just have my therapist ghosted me on 24/7 and a fucking whiteboard to say how can we fuck Vogue this week? Like, what the fuck? And Molly May, because she came out saying like how hard motherhood has been. And
yeah, I didn't see that. What happened?
so just the comments again, just like, oh.
No, but what happened with Molly? I didn't see Molly May.
I didn't actually read the article. It was just like, I shouldn't be doing it for shits and gigs because it's not shits and gigs. It has me fuming every time. But it was that she came out and just basically said, like, it's not a fucking an Instagrammable thing. She says, I have been humbled, kind of based. That's the gist that I get from it. I don't know her exact words. But, and I know she pissed people off last year with her, we all have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. But that's basically what people were saying in the comments. They were like, oh, it's a shock to you now that you have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. You're not saying it now, are you? Like, just fucking delighted with themselves that she's struggling a little bit. But I do think it's, like, at the end of the day, it's fucking important that people with platforms do say this sort of shit.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
We all appreciate a bit of relatability. You know what I mean?
We do.
We do. Yeah, no. But that, yeah, so Vogue, she put up coming soon, Bear for Kids. And like the marketing of it was fucking hilarious. It was like, yeah, your little one can have a glow all year round.
Jen.
It was fucking gas. I was like, fair fucking play for like, because like that she would have gotten. And like,
got dogs abuse. There'd be people still in a month or two's time being like, she's bringing out Tanner for children.
See, this is another thing as well about this sort of stuff, because I'm like, that's a risk, because you know sometimes people will tune into the bad stuff and then tune out the rest. So they'll go on for the rest of their lives thinking that Bear for Kids is out there. And then it won't be until somebody turns around and says, no, that was an April joke. Or that was an April Fool joke in 2023.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like, oh, I thought that, you know, like how we all went around as kids thinking that the moon was made out of cheese. Until somebody until somebody fucking told us that it wasn't. Do you know?
Whoever started that rumour. Same person who started the fucking Marilyn Manson rumour.
And the Prince rumour. And
yeah.
Absolutely. See, some things stick. Do you know? So you need to be careful. Very brave. That was very brave of them.
Very brave of them.
That was very brave.
That was very brave. Well done, girlie. So April Fools. I asked you guys what was like worst April Fools, best April Fools. I want to hear all about the things that have been done to you in jest.
Yes.
If you will. So I got 2 question boxes going here, so you'll have to bear with for a momo.
Bear for Kids with.
Yeah. First thing, Vogue Williams currently in her toddler town.
Yeah.
My mum ran into me and my sister screaming that my dad was dead.
Oh!
I nearly passed out.
Jesus Christ. Go hard or go home.
That's a risk.
That's a fucking big one.
That's a big risk.
Yeah. I mean, because what if he does die now? They won't believe you.
That's
Boy Who Cried Wolf. Classic Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Oh, it's a classic.
Classic Boy Who Cried
Wolf.
It's
a classic.
Your dad passed away. Fuck off, ma. Stop messing. That, you know.
Classic April Fools. They're like, it's August, Carla. What? I don't know. I'm not mad about them.
No, and
like
then,
not a death, not a pregnancy, not a something that will harm someone's life.
Yeah, the pregnancy ones are weird. I feel like up until a few years ago, people were okay with them, but now it's just like not okay.
Yeah,
because obviously
fair.
the struggle that goes with it. I saw there was a post in a group. I didn't see the original post. I think it was on.
Oh, was this on Maz Who Rant?
Yeah,
somebody wrote in saying the joke that went down on Maz Who Rant, and I was like, I missed it.
So I didn't miss it. I didn't, from the comments, I couldn't make out whether the girl commented on a post or she put it up. But the gist of it was basically a positive test. I don't know how they were going to get the positive test, but it was got to do with like a COVID test and then pretending it was a pregnancy test or something like that. It wasn't like I'd seen.
It wasn't harmful.
It was not in the sense that another person commented saying, "Okay, this isn't the worst thing." Somebody actually, I failed an IVF cycle, and somebody fraped me with a picture of a scan. Just at the end of the IVF cycle where I failed. So I was like, it could have been worse, realistically. But there was obviously the people who were like, you know, calling it out, saying you shouldn't be fucking doing this. People are struggling to get pregnant. That, you know, like that's fair enough. But she was just like, I didn't mean any harm for it. It was more so because it was a crossover between a COVID test and a pregnancy test kind of thing. It was obviously a joke, and like the intent of it.
Oh my God.
It wasn't a positive pregnancy test and a picture of a fucking scan kind of jig like.
Yikes.
But she basically posted an apology. She was like, I'm so fucking sorry, I'm leaving this group, I'm just letting you know. And then there was people in the comments going, it's not an airport, you don't need to fucking...
Oh, they love that one. It's like
departure.
They saw it once on Twitter and they haven't like let it lie since.
It's their personality.
It's their personality. They're like, can't wait to tell the airport joke. Brilliant! Here we go! Fucking no, it's not an airport. Damn it, that girl got in front of me.
She said it wrong though. You don't need to check out. And then, somebody wrote underneath it, you don't need to announce your departure, not check out. You don't check out at the fucking airport.
It's not a hotel.
In that case, you should have said library.
It's not a hotel.
Don't need to check out.
Oh, Jen.
Oh, she was really hard on herself, so God love her. Like, she obviously... And I just feel like because it was the crossover between the two, I was like, it's not that serious.
Yeah, very true. So, April Fools. Yeah. Just one more.
Okay.
Just one more. One of you guys, you let us know.
One of our submissions.
One of our submissions from one of our listeners. For the April Fools gone wrong, I work in a hair salon and somebody put red hair colour on tissues and left them all over the bathroom. Giddy hour in work. Fine. We all have them.
Fair enough.
You know?
That's fine.
And isn't it mad? It's like it's like those things that you do when you're drunk. Giddy hour is the same.
Yeah.
It is. It's like somebody comes in and takes over your body.
It's shit that you'd never do.
And you look back and you're like, I'm so embarrassed. Yeah. Cringe. Anyway.
I'm a child.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I'm mature at all. Obviously to make it look like periods, and they went to do a blow dry. They forgot all about it, and an actual client walked into the bathroom. Disgusted, big complaint made to manager, massive deal made out of it, and there was murder. Everyone held up until somebody finally admitted to it. Anyway, that was the end of April Fools and work for the foreseeable.
I mean,
it's one thing to do it, it's another to forget about it.
I want to be the person who was just like, you know, hearing about like doing a blow dry and then they hear and they're like, oh shit. I want to see that moment. I want to see the face fall of that moment.
I want to see the customer.
Oh yeah. I'd say that was a roller coaster.
I'd say it was wild.
It was wild.
I'd say it was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Just saying that, you know.
Anyway, this week we're talking about best cousins.
Yeah.
Do you have a best cousin?
I had a best cousin. Like, I do and I don't.
You had a best cousin?
Yeah. Like, I'm not as close. Like, when you're younger, you're very close, but you have a best cousin. But, like, I'm not as close with them anymore.
No, but they stay your best cousin. Like, they're always... When I asked you...
At, like, family gatherings.
Who's your best cousin? Did you think of that person?
Yeah.
Then they're still your best cousin.
No, I know, but it wouldn't be like that at all anymore.
No, same. Mine has a rake of kids. But, and like, I'd never... One of them is my goddaughter. I see her... If even once a year.
Yeah, fair.
But she's still my best cousin, you know?
Yeah, fair. I don't know, it's a weird one. So I've 14 cousins on my mum's side.
Yeah.
And then I have 6 on my dad's.
Our family is
and
like
5 of them are from the one family.
Yeah, our family is like that as well. Like, what the fuck? Bobby will have 2. No, sorry. He has 4. He has 4 cousins. And that's a lot for a child in this generation.
Yeah. That's a lot for now.
Like, Gen Alpha ain't got no cousins.
They've got no cousins. It's like your only cousin's your best cousin. That's the end of that.
You have one cousin.
You have one cousin. Make it a good one.
They are
better get close.
One of Bobby's cousins is 22 years older than him. Like that, you know what I mean? This is your choice.
Here's your layout.
Like, he could, like, I suppose, go the awful for him. Like, he'll be
nearly 40.
He'd be near to the grave by the time Bobby starts drinking. But, you know, handy to have.
Yeah, it's hard when there's those kind of age. No, there's not that many. Age gap wise, we're pretty okay.
Yeah.
I think there's 10 years between me and my...
Oh, same.
Maybe 13, maybe 14, like maximum years between me and one of my other cousins.
Oh yeah, no, same. Like my oldest cousin, I think, is maybe what age am I? He's 45. Yeah, about 10 years. But what I mean is like this generation, the closest age to Bobby, he's set like she's 8 now, I think.
Yeah.
So 5 years, and it's just it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Ain't got no cousins.
Yeah, so it's as I said, it's a weird one because it's like I do have a best, like my cousin Connor is like
He's your best cousin.
he's my best cousin,
Yeah.
but he's like a brother. He's not like a cousin because he's an only child,
Right. Okay.
and it's very like it was me, him, and Amy for so long before the other 5 came along.
right. Okay.
Do you know, in quick succession.
So
It was like us when we were kids for a good bit of time, and then the other 5 came along. Now I'm obsessed with the other 5.
No, that's fair, but I feel like you were kind of forced for him to be your best cousin because he was your, like he
Oh,
was
I hated him when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then
The little American.
when the fuck was he your best cousin then? Because you said you had a
He's
best
my
cousin.
best cousin now. But my best cousin when I was younger was Ellen.
Carla, you're not getting this.
Yeah, I know. I get what your best cousin is, Jen, but I'm telling you, I don't have the same thing that you have. I'm telling you that now.
So
I understand who your best cousin was.
You switched your best cousin though.
Yeah. Yeah. I ain't got no loyalties. I ain't like that.
Sometimes it still shocks me after 4 years how different we are.
Yeah. Because you have to, like, it's a weird one because it's like Ellen was my best cousin growing up because there was only 2 months between us. So we were like automatically, that was like the crew. But you have to remember there was 14 of us. So everybody had like a pocket. So like Michelle was my sister Amy's.
You had a clique.
That's what I mean. There was cliques because it's like, it was like Ray and David. There's another Ray. Ray and David were, I know, hilarious, were the only boys for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was like them 2. Then it was like Amy and Michelle because they were like the eldest girls.
Yeah.
And then it was me and Ellen because we were 2 months away from each other.
Yeah.
So it was like there were so many pockets because there was fucking so many of us.
Yeah, there was cliques.
You know?
That's fair.
Because my mum has, I mean, there's 6 of them all together.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's on my dad's side, there's 3 remaining and 3 had kids, and Linda only had 1 kid, which is Connor. But like Connor, I talk to all the time, and Connor and Tom talk every day.
Right.
So it's like, it's hard to explain.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like I'd sit down and I would have a conversation with Connor about anything in the world,
right.
and I think he would with me too. You know, whereas like with Ellen, I see her at family gatherings and the odd time we chat. Yeah. But back in the day, we were a twosome.
You were.
But that's just because it was the setup. It was the way that things were set up.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
I suppose you couldn't help your circumstances. I just feel like
it's just a lot. There's so many of us and we've all lived so many different kind of elements of life now. It's kind of,
yeah.
And I'm not very close with my mum's side of the family.
Yeah.
Like they all live in Skerries. I don't go out there all that often, you know? So it's like, it's different for me. Because all of them live out in Skerries. We're the only family that don't.
Right.
So are we? Yeah. Yeah. We're the only, now people have lived
out and about. Like some of my cousins live in town now, but their main houses, their base houses are all, home to
absolute liar. Apart from one of my aunties who lives in Spain.
Okay.
And 2 of my cousins live in Spain. But other than that, all of them. Like one lives in the UK now, but she, her and her son like grew up in Skerries, you know?
Right, yeah.
Now he lives in town. But that's kind of, do you get me? It's like, it's that kind of, it's hard. And then obviously Connor lives in America. Yeah. And then the other, like, my other 5 cousins, again, one of them lives in Canada. It's
all over the place now, yeah. But I still feel like, well, not fucking with you anyway, but I still feel like your best cousin when you were younger, you'll always have that bond.
Yeah, and it is like when I see Ellen, I'm like, oh, peace.
Yeah,
do you know, like I'm like, oh, I feel peaceful now.
That childhood happiness.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh God, okay, grand. Do you know what I mean? It's like I have my bearings.
Although, as well, do you know what? I'm just like, as you were speaking about it there, I was like, what actually ends there? Obviously, it's age and life and all that kind of stuff.
Age and life.
But I feel like it's grandparents. Once they go,
no, they're still rocking.
No. Well, in my family in particular, the reason why we all kind of grew apart and I suppose went our separate ways earlier in life was that our grandparents weren't the base camp anymore. Like Christmases weren't.
Yeah.
You know, we used to always just meet up at our grandparents at Christmas, and then that's where the dance routines took place, and that's where all the kids were upstairs while the parents were downstairs in a cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
Drinking whiskey, like having a singing along to Garth Brooks. Like it was, you know, it was just that, and we were just left fucking loose.
Yes,
in my nana's gaff. It was great.
It's not like that with my mum's side of the family at all.
Right.
Because my grandparents they're a little bit older now, but also it's like hard to explain. You have to remember that my parents divorced when I was 21.
Yeah.
So that kind of things got very dicey there for a few years. And those are kind of the years that you separate from people anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like after school years and whatever else like that. But it was like you wouldn't be having a session at my grandparents at so.
Right, okay.
Not at so.
Yeah, our parents, like my dad had stopped drinking at that stage because he went on a session with me, Ma's family, and just never drank again.
Oh yeah, you told us that.
Bless him. Would you be slagging
one time and that was enough?
No, he would have been a regular. Like they fucking went out. What? My parents went out like nearly every night of the week before they had kids.
Crazy.
There's this photo, I must find it, of your man who did the photos for, I think it was the Herald, taking pictures of couples on Grafton Street, or sorry, O'Connell Street. There's a picture of the two of them. I need to get my hands on it. It is fucking insane. They look unbelievable. Like my dad has bell bottoms on. He has a bit of like a puffy afro. My ma's like real fucking 70s boho shit. Oh my god, they look incredible in it. It's a fucking amazing photo. But like they were fucking session masters, the two of them, like before they had kids. And he did drink until that happened, and it was Puelli. But Wales, R.I.P. Stephen's drinking.
That was it.
That was it. He was like, I'm never drinking again. He stuck.
Good for him.
Yeah. Now when we're at like weddings and stuff, he'll drink just water. We all kind of slag him because there was a wedding that we were at, and the water had strawberries in it. I was like, oh god, Stephen, this fucking mad thing. He's off the water. He's on the strawberry water now. Like, you know,
exotic.
And now he's strawberry water, Stephen.
Oh my god, we are so cruel, aren't we?
We are bastards.
We are the worst.
Yeah, but we asked you about your best cousin stories.
We did indeed. Get ready.
Get ready for this one.
So, not necessarily a best cousin story, but a cousin story nonetheless. And she literally said nonetheless. When I was about 18, one of my mates started going out with one of my cousins. So naturally, I started spending more time with him. We love the dynamics.
One of my mates
started going out with one of my cousins.
Yeah. In the family. Grant.
Yeah. Anyway, one night we're going out for another friend's birthday. We have pre-drinks in her house, and being the broke 18-year-old that I was, I thought, let's drink as much alcohol as fast as I can. And I drank a shoulder of vodka pre-drink. Those days.
That's a brave choice for pranks.
Yeah. We make our way to the club, after where I continue to drink more and more vodka. All of a sudden, I get that I'm going to be sick feeling. I bolt to the bathroom, using every bit of strength that I had not to vomit everywhere. But on the way to the bathroom, my cousin stops me to ask me something. Couldn't hold it in. Projectile vomited all over my cousin.
Wow.
I didn't even say anything. I just ran to the bathroom because I knew there was more coming.
Yeah.
I made it to the bathroom, and when I came out, I saw that my cousin had thrown his t-shirt in the bin and he had gotten his jacket from the cloakroom. I couldn't even look him in the eye. I was so embarrassed. I apologised profusely, and he was actually very sound about it. It's been around 13 years now, and we've never talked about it since.
Oh, well, that's a good cousin if they're not bringing it up.
That's a sound cousin.
Yeah. If they're not bringing it up every fucking time they see it. Like, hey, like the name didn't stick there, like Pukey.
Yeah.
You know.
It wasn't like, oh, Pukey's at the family gathering. Yeah.
Pukey McPuke face.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Another one here. Myself and my female cousin were so close when we were younger. For context, there's 50 cousins on that side.
Oh, God. 50.
Here's me thinking it was wild with 14.
I thought 14 was wild. I think I might have around that as well, but I haven't counted it. It would take me ages, and I'd be like, yeah.
You'd be like,
Connor, Gavin, Robbie, Christian. Yeah. No. Right, okay. 50. That's a lot.
But when we were 13, we went on a trip together to visit my aunt in France, and we had literal killings all week, to the point where my aunt had to separate us and buy us diaries to write our feelings down.
I love that. Is she French, or did she move to France and then turn into this fucking peace queen?
Yeah. Yeah, she was like, Girls, it's time. Write your
She-
feelings down. You know, you don't like each other. Here is able.
Now, I think she's probably Irish and she went over for an eat, pray, love kind of sit. With France instead of India. Or Italy.
To this day, neither of us could tell you what we were fighting about. Just allergic. Close again as adults. She planned a fab cousin's glamping hen for me when I got married. Swings and roundabouts.
There you go now. It all works out in the end.
Get your diary out.
Imagine that, hence. Was all 50 cousins at it?
Are you all writing a diary?
We'll say for content, well, for like statistically speaking, 25 of them are probably male. Was there 25 of your cousins at your fucking hens?
25 cousins. And your mates.
All your cousins.
And the
Imagine
rest.
the guest list for that wedding. The table arranging.
That's another thing that gives me anxiety about weddings.
It's the cousins.
Cousin dynamics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Family dynamics.
Yeah.
It's less the cousins. The cousins are grand. It's the fucking aunts and uncles.
It's the aunts and uncles, yeah. There's beef, like.
Yeah. There's so much beef. They've so much beef. Too many. Like me and my sister, when we've beef, but it's done.
Done, yeah.
There's only two of us.
Yeah.
I mean, the most is like a week of beef.
A week's worth of beef.
Yeah, a week's worth of beef. But like when there's 6 of yous, beef.
Imagine. Like, and then you can go, because you have another sibling, like another option, you can go a long time ignoring the one
You
person.
really can.
I've seen it. Like,
Yeah.
Because I've only got the one option, so I'm like, right, come on, we'll have to we'll get over it. You know, you're my favourite sister, I'm your only sister kind of thing. Like, but with 6 of them, I have seen it happen where it's just like, it's grand, I have another one. Like, you know what I mean?
Don't fucking need you.
Don't fucking need you.
Yeah, it's like a friend group. It's like, well, it's fine. I don't have to talk to Kathy Ann because
yeah,
I
exactly.
have.
And then the poor fucker in the middle is like,
I'd like you to
not taking sides. Like, I have to do this lunch with her and this lunch with her. Like, to fuck. Do you know? Mad. Like, it's great that they had so many people and they reproduce for the planet and all. But
Is it?
the beef, is it worth it?
It's worth the girls and boys. Is it?
Everyone here, my mum's niece is like my sister. Anyway, near 2 years ago, my mum's niece.
That's your cousin.
That's your cousin.
What the fuck?
What a way to say my cousin, my mum's niece.
Sneeze.
No,
Okay.
well, look, we have a story to go, so they might have broken up since then. So that's like fair enough.
This isn't an essay. You're not trying to get your word count up.
Me mum's niece.
Mum's niece. Your cousin then. That'd be your
Yeah.
cousin.
Unless if it was a stepdad situation or an ex-husband's niece. Anyway, my mum's niece is like my sister. Oh no, so they're close. So no, why are you calling her your mum's niece? Anyway, she says anyway. Near 2 years ago, my ex, who said he was living back west, would put up on his Insta that he was in my local area where my apartment was. This was upsetting to me because I felt like he was following me because he knew these were me shopping, and it says waking spots. Walking spots,
Working.
yeah. And their wife is close to his Dublin address. And these wife, she did say there's autocorrect, so I don't know what's right and what's wrong here.
Just read it.
Is close to his Dublin address. Anyway, he debuts a new girlfriend on Insta 2 months after he dumped me. Then he puts up he's with a new girlfriend at my parents' local. The one he knew I grew up beside, and I would still go to a good bit. Oh, sorry, the local. The one I grew up beside and still go to a good bit. My cousin sees this and decides to head down and to reef him out of it for stalking, calling him a psycho. Then her boyfriend backed her up too, saying that my ex is disrespectful and he's only here hoping to rub it in on me. And then the new gal has at a breeze. This was a calculated visit, a wild summer. That's what she says. So she was his revenge. He broke up with her.
Summarise that.
So
That was hard to follow.
it was. So he said he's going living back west, right? She's living in Dublin.
Okay.
He puts up on his Instagram
Yeah.
when he's in Dublin, close to the area, so that she sees it. I feel like this is, do you know when people break
Strange.
up and they change their
Like,
profile
I'm in
picture?
Stony Batter. That's weird. I live here.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. So they debuted the new girlfriend 2 months after he dumped me. So
Oh.
he dumped her.
So he dumps you
And now he's like
and then
fucking
follows you.
trailblazing her. Like popping up like a little fucking whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Every time he's in Dublin. So he's at the girlfriend's local, but her cousin, or her mom's niece,
Her mom's niece.
her mom's niece rocks up and calls him out for being a stalker, and her fella, the mom's niece's fella, backs her up. Says you're disrespectful little fucker.
Okay, I get that better.
Yeah.
I understand
So
that.
there
Thank
you
you.
go now.
Thank you. Interesting. My best cousin is 100% my soulmate. There's only a couple of hours between us. We were the first grandchildren on my mom's side of the family. I do think that's important.
I feel like that's a thing, yeah.
I feel like that's a thing. On our mom's side of the family, I genuinely think I'm obsessed with her. We went to secondary school together as well. We call each other Mush, Mushy Girl, Mushy Angel, called after the local pervert Mushy Peas.
Grand.
I'd like to know more about how he got that name.
I don't think I want to.
I do. I'd like to know how you got the name Mushy Peas.
I know, but I also would have said, like, why do you have a plaster on your finger? And I regret every fucking decision I've made since. So
Do you keep looking at it?
I'm just keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't. I woke up this morning and I wanted to get sick in the bin.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you did this to yourself. And it's the fact that, like, it was like, I didn't realise what I was doing. That's the worrying part.
It's like a paper cut. You don't know. Well, no, sorry. Well, it depends on the category of paper cut. Sometimes you don't know what's happening, and then all of a sudden you're in excruciating pain.
Agony.
But with a razor, it's like that as well, because it's such a sharp blade.
Is it because do you know what I thought?
What?
You know, in those, like, movies or when you read in a book and they're like, I got stabbed, and you don't realise. Because it's like the adrenaline. Was it the adrenaline of me trying to search for the cotton pad?
Yeah, it might have been.
Was it?
Could have been.
So I was like, now I understand how people get shot and they don't you know the way, and it's like, oh, you didn't realise, and then it's like 2 minutes later it's like the shock on their face and they look down, there's blood everywhere, and they just collapse and they're dead.
But that, it goes to show you that, like,
My
it's
finger.
mind over matter.
That's
Because you don't know that you're slicing your fucking finger off with a razor blade, so it's not. So it goes to show you that if you know what's happening, it hurts worse.
Yeah, it's like,
But
if you
if
know
you
you're
don't-
being tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, it's like the way emotional manipulation takes place. Like, if you know, then you're fuming about it. But if you don't know, you're
like,
blind to it.
Yeah, you're like,
no, he's fine. That's just how he is.
that's
normal.
how me and him are. That is our relationship. That is how we be.
It's always been like that. What, you narcissistic?
No,
What is she? Who
That's
is
my
she?
fella.
Yeah, exactly.
I love him. We just, like, it's fine if he gets the girl's number, as long as the girl doesn't get his number, you know, because then he's in control of the situation.
Yeah,
So it's better because then he can just he'll delete it.
exactly.
He'll delete it. Okay,
That's how that works.
that's how that works.
You know.
Anyway, back to this. She's the most loyal person in the world and hilarious. And tomorrow she's going to be with me as my baby's godmother. Very wholesome.
Very wholesome.
It was very wholesome. Thank you.
Very wholesome.
Better than getting a diary and having
Yeah.
reefing each other out of it and having to get a diary.
See, like, I feel like there's one extreme and another with best cousins, because, like, they went to school together, they spent all their time together. I feel like that's too much of a best cousin. A best cousin is,
They're supposed to be. I get you.
they're supposed to be just at family gatherings. Do you know?
That's fair. That's fair. That is okay.
So there's one extreme, and
To
then
another.
she's at the other end.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Do you know? Best cousin. My best cousin is basically like my brother. There you are, Carla. Now, did you write this? He's a few years younger than me, but we've always been so close. One of my earliest memories is us as kids sharing a bat and him screaming down to our mothers that my willy had fell off. I can see that happening with kids. Yeah. When we were little, we both were obsessed with dressing up in costumes, and now he's a costume designer and a part-time drag queen who makes my daughter the best costumes for Halloween every year. Oh, I love him. I want him to be my best cousin.
Oh, I always like, that's so fucking cool.
Isn't it? I would love to have a drag queen as a cousin.
Yeah. Like, actually, we should do an episode on, like, family members who have cool jobs.
Oh yeah,
I'd love that.
Yeah,
because, like, one of the girls that I work with, her brother is a crime journalist. How fucking cool is that?
See, you could get all the tea without having to do
That's
it
what
yourself.
I mean.
Yeah,
And he gets sent away. He had to go to Tenerife to, like, follow the crew, to follow the lads, to follow the gangs,
the Irish Crips and Bloods,
and to try and get an interview off them.
Fuck,
Isn't that fucking mad?
that's gas.
I know, isn't that cool?
Where are they now?
Who?
The crew.
What crew?
Where's the crew? Are they in Dubai?
I'm not sure.
Are they in Tenerife?
Who knows?
We're ready.
I don't think Dubai. I think Dubai, if you get caught for anything, that's
Well, America is after them.
the Americas.
The Americas is after them.
Yeah,
they're
that's
wanted
tough.
in America.
Okay, well,
They
I'd
want
lie
to be-
low in Spain then.
Yeah, I feel like, although I don't know, because me and my next door neighbour are both going to Spain at the same time, and our fellas have arranged to meet up, but we're a 13-hour drive from each other. And I was like, I didn't know Spain was that big.
Spain's huge.
I just didn't. You know when you're looking at it on a map?
You're like, you think you're in Mayo and they're in Kerry.
But you know what I have to remind myself to do? I should probably cut Ireland out, right? Put another little backing on it and a little Velcro thing so that I can take Ireland off whenever I need to and then put it in another country to compare. Because I often underestimate the size of countries. Because I live on this little island and I'm fucking... But apparently, right, I saw this on TikTok, there's a load of different versions of maps. And some of them make countries look smaller, even though they're not. So like there's some, and it's all...
America do that. With their maps, America's in the middle.
Obviously. Well, I mean, it is a globe. You can look at it whatever the fuck way you want. But in terms of scale, it's not true to size. They will make like... And it was the whole thing that was explained when I was watching this video, was that it was like strategic racism, basically. So they made Africa tiny. Like much skinnier than what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And made America huge.
Oh, gas.
As if it was like the fucking had bigger muscles kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it did that to certain countries to kind of minimize like their, you know, because like invasion was a big thing back then. And there wasn't as much science and shit. So like people were actually making these maps to the best of their ability. But there are maps. I think if you Google it, like the difference, there's reasons for some countries being smaller. Oh. So you never know. You can't trust that.
What's it called? Cartography? Is that what the study of maps?
I don't fucking know.
Anyway, whatever it is, crazy. The shit that goes down, the beef that maps have with each other.
Yeah.
Insane.
I know. And then you never realise as well, Australia is the size of mainland Europe. Bigger.
Yeah, it's huge.
This is why...
But you couldn't fit it all. You have to scale some things.
You would, but...
Ireland would be like a fleck.
It's a fleck!
A freckle.
An absolute freckle. I would love a Velcro map. Surely they have them.
I think they do for children.
For children, yeah, so that I can compare Ireland to other places. Put Ireland and Russia. Just see.
Just to see.
It looked like Blanche in the fucking thing. Like,
there's Blanche Village. Right beside St. Petersburg. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Best cousins. So my family's tiny. I have 5 cousins, but I have only 2 left. Not to be more morbid. One of who is a good bit older, but there's one who's 2 years younger than me, and we're legit soulmates. We've grown up like sisters. We think we both grew up as only children, even though we're not the whole family. Even though we're not, the whole family dynamic's wild, to be honest. But when we were younger, we killed each other. One of my core memories is when we would fight until about the age of 13 and 11. We'd be like, I'm not your cousin anymore. But she is legit. I love that. But she's legit my best friend, and I'd be lost without her. We have so many memories. She moved abroad in the summer, and the day she left, I felt like a part of me went missing. Aww. I was starting on everyone for around a week.
Yeah. Scrapping.
But then when we lived in Ireland, we barely see each other. But the love and the bond is there, and it'll never be broken. Best cousins are something that just cannot be beaten.
No, they really can't.
It's quite sweet.
I have another one here. My best cousin is the same age as me. We grew up together, went on holidays, literally spent all our time together. She's on that's the extreme. That I was talking about. She was always my best friend. We went to primary school together and in the same class the whole way through. Honestly, we were like sisters, even scrapped like sisters. My mum always said that she wanted what I had. Because she was an only child and we were the best of friends, I really didn't care. But once I turned 17, 18, it turned so much worse. She wiggled into my best friend group, and long story short, I haven't talked to my cousin or friend group for 3 years and counting. Mental to think of. What was the reason for that?
What was that reason?
Because she was an only child and we were best friends. I really didn't care. I feel like I'm missing something here. She wiggled into my best friend group.
Yeah, so, and because she was an only child and she was close to her, she didn't care that she did that.
Sorry, I thought she was talking about, because she said my mum always said that she wanted what I had. Because she was an only child. So I was like, did the mom wiggle into the best friend group? What's going on here? Anyway, so Okay, grand. Mental to think of it like that, but we were cousins now and can't be in the same room without cutting the tension with a knife. The worst part is we're such close family. I must see her 2 or 3 times a week. Still, when I see her, I might have new shoes. She compliments them or says, "Oh, are they new?" And then the next day or two, she comes in with a brand new spanking pair of shoes, the exact same as mine. So frustrating. And then she would talk shit behind my back to my ex-friends, now her best friends, that I copied her. Oh, she's dangerous. She's a dangerous woman. Yes, I had reported... Yes, I've had it reported back to me from people in the village that they turned against me. Both of you girls would actually be shocked if I got into the finer details, but I hope that's what you wanted. Moral of the story, don't get too close with your cousins. It's that extreme. That's very unfortunate, I feel.
Yeah, I'd say that's a one-off, but that's not to minimise.
No, absolutely not. That's
wild.
Yes.
Unhinged behaviour. Very unhinged behaviour.
Fuck. We need to go and record our Patreon now.
Just one more before we do.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Just to leave this little taste in your mouth.
You have a little nugget there, do you?
My best cousin offered my boyfriend head in the smoking area while I was inside.
That's not your best cousin.
Mm-hmm. When he told her to fuck off, she said, "Why? Sure, she wouldn't mind." I confronted her and she denied it. There were many witnesses. We haven't spoken since, and when I'm asked why we don't talk, I tell people the truth.
Oh.
I have nothing to hide. The hooer.
The hooer.
The hooer.
I love it.
HUAR. The hooer.
I love it.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that in years.
Yeah.
Hooer.
The hooer. That and Langer.
Langer, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff. Jesus. Right. Well, they definitely weren't your best cousin to begin with. Before we go, do you have an unpopular opinion?
I should find. Yeah, I do. Somewhere. I do. Okay, so I'm taking my life into my own hands with this one. Mm-hmm. But I said what I said.
And I'd say it again.
Taylor Swift has no charisma. The girl doesn't have a bar.
No.
I'm sorry.
She's like a blank A40.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's not a sniff.
Yeah, I don't get
of personality I get from her.
No.
Great songwriter, I'll give you that. Mm-hmm. Good storyteller. People who go to her concert, I'm like, oh, really?
People came out without their voices and like they were after being in a fucking mosh pit. She sings on stage for like 3 hours and that's great for the little Swifties. That's great. That's great for you.
But it's not a show, like.
It's just, I know.
There's people you go to see live, Beyonce, Pink, do you know, like whatever your...
Show people. I know. I feel
it's like Ed Sheeran live. Do you know what I mean? He's charisma, but
yes.
like, you know, you're sitting there and you're kind of going, thinking out loud, like, off we go. But you're not like, it's a weird, like, but it's not even that. For me, it's just every time I see her, if I see her on the red carpet, I see her wearing a dress. There's just nothing. There's just so nothing. There's just like,
when I see people
blank
doing, don't get offended, Reese Creed. When I see people doing red carpet rundowns and they're talking about Swaler lifts. Taylor Swift's red lip, I could not give less of a fuck.
Like, there's just, she could wear the most fabulous gown and the gown will wear her.
Yeah, absolutely.
She could wear just Zendaya level kind of cool stuff and it would be uncool.
No,
well, not even uncool. It would just be like, okay,
blah, yeah.
And I feel the same way about Kendall Jenner.
Yes.
There's not a blade of charisma.
No.
Very beautiful, attractive human. But there's like no mystery. There's no like,
no.
There's just nothing. I guess nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, go girl, give us nothing.
I wholeheartedly agree. She is, as boring as an A4 she, with no colours on it. Like, just no I get it. Totally get it.
Okay, so not that unpopular after all.
Well, I feel like you might be up against it with the old fans. So, like,
I'm gonna be like, see you later. This is my last podcast.
You're cancelled now.
I'm cancelled, but you're. Who isn't?
Sure. Have you got a stumper?
I do. Carla's Stumper of the Week. So this is it's Fleetwood Mac, right? I'm gonna put that out there.
Let's dive right in.
It's Fleetwood Mac. But I saw this girl talk about this song, and I never knew. I suppose you know the way you hear these songs, and you're just kind of like, whatever. But you don't think about like Fleetwood Mac are a fucking mental band. They're all shagging each other, you know.
What?
Yeah, and that's very like. There's all these different dynamics to them.
When I think of Fleetwood Mac, and this is terrible of me, it's just that I don't know enough about the band.
Okay.
I forget that there's a woman in it.
What?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know why I just think of it as like outfless. Do you know?
That is bizarre.
But it's because I'm not, and like you could play me a song and you'd be like, that's Fleetwood Mac, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I just don't pay attention to Fleetwood Mac.
No, they're all like, this is what I mean. They're all, and like Stevie Nicks, no?
No.
Oh, God.
I just haven't looked into it, but I probably know all of these facts separately to the fact that it was got to do with Fleetwood Mac. I actually might go down a rabbit hole if I have time one time.
Yeah, so like there's mad dynamics.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people are kind of back because Daisy Jones and the Six, which is a very like famous book, has now been made into a TV series and everybody's watching it. And a lot of people are saying the inspiration is from Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
Because as I said, they were all shagging each other and they had mad L. I'm not going to get into it now. It's too long. But I saw some girl like, there's a song called Silver Springs and it's a good tune.
Yeah.
But you know, when you hear about it a little bit more, you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Because it was like written about, like it was Stevie Nicks wrote it about the bloke that, was she married to him? I can't remember. I'm so sorry for Fleetwood Mac fans. Anyway, she wrote it about him. Now they've to fucking perform it together.
Right.
And it's very pointed.
Okay.
You know? And it was this girl who was like going through the clip and she was like, watch how she walks over to him. She just stands in front of him and sings it at him. She's like, these people are in like their 50s and 60s.
That's right. Yeah.
She's like, they're performing and she is literally in his grill, like up in his face.
Fuck.
She was like, imagine that. What would you do?
Right.
But anyway, it's called Silver Springs and it's just a little bit of a banger. Imagine singing at you.
I know I could have loved you, but you would not let me.
That's a good one.
I'll follow you down till the sound of my voice will haunt you. Give me just a chance.
You know, I absolutely know why people love them. I've never.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're so good. But yeah, it's always been on like my playlist.
Right.
But then I saw this girl and I was like, oh my God.
Didn't realise.
But you'd be like mortified. I'm mortified.
The drama. I just love the drama, Mick.
That's what I mean. I was like, I love the song even more now.
Yeah. We have to go and record our Patreon. Don't forget, you can get 5 extra episodes for €6 every month. The link is always in the show notes. I'm saying show notes now.
Wow.
I'm sticking to that.
Wow.
I say show notes now. So thanks a million for listening. We will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.